CDLF has probably had its busiest year so far in terms of other people's involvement, I'd say. So historically we've probably done a lot of campaigns ourselves, whereas we've had a lot of people approach us this year who have wanted to do a campaign with us or run a campaign of theirs alongside us and raise money for us. So we started the year with Hooded Horse, which was run by Nikki and John at JDW. It's a cross-country running event. It's at the top of Sutton Bank and it always raises money for a local charity, and it has amazing involvement from lots of different groups of runners. So the interaction's fantastic, and CDLF was its chosen charity this year, so that was a really, really lovely day, really positive, really inspiring, and the monies from that were donated to CDLF.
We also had A Mile of Life in May, which we run every single year, which is a great awareness event. We ran this over 40 days this year because we would have been celebrating Charlie's 40th birthday. I think we had about 450 plus people that got involved that joined our Strava group.
We've had a local firm, Whitkirk Waste, who approached us, and they wanted to do a golf day at Rudding Park where the proceeds of the day were donated to CDLF, and that was amazing because they gave CDLF the opportunity to put a team in. So not only did we benefit from the day, but we also had a team that were able to be there on the day and talk about the work that we do. So like interaction level was amazing. And equally, they allowed us some space in the morning where we could talk to people that were attending the day. So then we could just let people know, probably an audience that wouldn't have typically have spoken to us, and then that in turn just spreads the word. We've also had an amazing opportunity to be Kyle Ride's chosen charity for his home race, which is at Donington Park, and he very kindly nominated CDLF as his charity for the weekend, and his helmet was our logo on the side. So that was just an amazing experience, and again just put in front of a different audience that we've not had the opportunity to do before, and that in turn just brings so much more traction to the charity. It really helps the charity just to go into different avenues. NFU Mutual, they were another one, so they chose us as their chosen charity for the first quarter of this year, and they donated a cheque to us. Farming again, another sector. So we just feel like we've opened so many doors this year, and it's really, really helped the charity in terms of donations.
Reflecting on the last 12 months, I feel like we've opened up a lot about how we feel, myself and my sister Victoria. We've done a few podcasts which have been organised by Mentalness, and it's almost, I guess, exposed us more in a good way because we've been able to sit down and talk about our journey and how we've dealt with losing Charlie to suicide, and in turn hopefully that will help somebody who unfortunately could be in the same situation that we are.
A great example of someone that's reached out to us is Daisy. Daisy found herself unfortunately in a really similar circumstance to myself and Alex. She lost her brother. Her brother died by suicide, and I'm so happy that we've been able to help Daisy, because she was in a similar situation to us and we were able to offer what we didn't have.
I'm Daisy Parkinson. So it was actually a friend of mine that had heard of CDLF, and she reached out to them for me after I lost my brother to suicide in January 2023. When I reached out to CDLF, they contacted me pretty quickly. It was by direct message to offer the services that they could put me in connection with, and just offer words of support and sympathy. And they made me feel a lot less alone. Like, I'm not actually alone in this, there are people out there. And I trusted on the fact that they could help me. The therapist actually called me, so I didn't have to make that call. And I think sometimes the hardest thing is to make that call, so that was done for me. They rang me and they basically arranged therapy sessions to fit in, or when I could go to them, attend to them, and I didn't have to worry anything financially, so I didn't have to worry about putting strain on my husband or on myself. That was all dealt with. The help I received was talk therapy for people struggling with grief, complicated grief, depression, anxiety and suicidal ideation. And talk therapy for me has definitely got me where I am today. Being suicidal, I did not want to be here, I didn't want to exist. I couldn't imagine a future, picture a future without my brother in it. I couldn't face burying my younger brother. And now I want to live, I want to plan holidays again, I want to spend time with my family, I want to keep decorating the house and driving my husband crazy, and I can smile again, I can dance again, and I can laugh again. And it doesn't mean I'm forgetting my brother. I've been from what I would say a really, really low point, the lowest in my life, to now actually being one of the most determined, positive frames of mind probably in my life. So
it's quite humbling to be able to help somebody that's in a very similar situation as me and Victoria. Also heartbreaking. You don't want somebody to feel everything that we've felt and feel day to day, because life isn't the same. It never will be. And yeah, it's nice to help.
Hi, my name's Mark Carvunis. Unfortunately, last year I lost my mother, and at the beginning of this year I lost my best friend. And back in April I got to a point where I actually felt that I needed someone to talk to, and I knew with everything that Alex and the team do that she was the right person to reach out to. I was struggling to control myself emotionally, with not necessarily overwhelming feelings, but little things like patience, or just being able to do the day-to-day things without me causing to get angry or frustrated, and sometimes emotional. And I think I realised at a point it was my mum's birthday, and upon reflection I realised now that it's probably one of the best things that I did was reach out to Alex and say, I'm struggling with everything that has happened, please can you help me? And she did. The next day she put me in contact with the right person who she thought would be great for me to work with, which was Al. And that big smile is because I probably can't express how much gratitude I have towards Alex for helping me, and Al for just listening and just guiding me and talking to me to help me realise essentially where I was and what I wanted or needed to do to get to where I want to be. The session that we did in the ring, we had a bit of a chat. I wrapped my hands, put some gloves on. We did 2-minute round of just hitting the pads, a couple of combinations, which was great. And we then talked in between the rounds. How I felt before working with Al was, I just felt tense all the time. I felt like I was looking out for things that potentially could set me off, to upset me, frustrate me, cause me to lose my patience, get angry. How I feel now to how I felt then is worlds apart. My advice to anybody who felt how I did or is in a similar situation to where I was, the longer, in my opinion, the longer you go on not asking for help, the worse it'll get. Because what happens is we will get into our own head about, oh, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. We then look at it and go, actually, I don't want to bother anybody, but the world is a better place with you in it. So all you've got to do is stand up, ask for help, and like I said before, they'll show you the way.
The foundation runs on donations. We don't get any grants. We are literally solely funded on donations, so any monies that come into the foundation always goes to the end user. We either use it to finance our support boards that we have up in medical environments or social spaces or educational settings. So we either use it for them, so we send them to people that, people contact us and we'll supply them free of charge, or it just goes on counselling. So funding and donations is the number one thing that keeps us running, because without it we wouldn't be able to support all the people that we have done this year. And just to put into perspective how much we've done this year in terms of someone like Al has completed 150 hours worth of therapy and counselling just this year alone for CDLF. So I mean, that's amazing, 150 hours worth of help for people.
The ball raises a lot of funds for the CDLF. It's one of our biggest fundraisers that we have, because we have the live auction and also the sale of the tickets. We do give a lump donation to Mindfulness on our ball, which then goes into their therapy pot, so they can then support people as well.
CDLF have a really easy donation page, so all our information about the foundation's found on our website, and there is actually a dedicated page on the foundation's website for making donations.